Oh, that's new. Okay, so as you heard, the meeting's being recorded. Hey, welcome everybody. Team training, June 3rd. It's been like 3 weeks since we had team training because May has that extra Thursday in there, I guess. So, anyways, glad we're all here, excited for tonight. I asked Miss Dana March to kind of help me host tonight and share some things. But we want to just come on here. We like to do this. Oh, first of all, I'm Jason Adams. Sorry, I didn't say that. We like to come on here the first and third Thursday of the month and just have a little team time, go over some thoughts, some ideas, some tips and tricks, and just have some time together. So tonight, I think we're going to be talking. Well, not I think we are going to be talking a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone, getting past that good enough stage, getting through that because we can all get stuck in that middle zone. And I don't know about you, but I didn't really start this just to be okay. Like I started this to really find something great. You ever see those posts like where it's what did you want to be when you grow up? And everybody's like astronaut, firefighter, nurse, doctor, whatever. Uh, for me, it was just I want to be great at something. And like I don't know that I'll ever achieve great at something, but that's always kind of like, always in the forefront of my mind. If I'm doing something, I want to do my best and be my best and be able to put the best effort in. And sometimes we just get in that like middle trap and especially too like as coaches with our clients. I mean, how many of your clients have just gotten to good enough, have just gotten to that place where they're like, oh yeah, I think I'm okay right here, and I'm like, well, that's you're only like halfway to what you said you wanted to get, so why would you want to stop there? And it's this good enough trap. So I posted a link. Oh, hey, Laura. I posted a link. She can't hear me yet. I posted a link to a podcast by Bob Heilig the other day, who I'm a big Bob Heilig fan. I know a couple people in here are in Bob Heilig's group as well, but he had a podcast talking about this idea of the good enough trap. And so I asked Dana to come on and kind of share some ideas too that she may have thought from the podcast. Dana, you got anything yet? She's still working on it. We can just bounce back and forth too. It's totally fine.
Jason roped me into this, so
I did.
I'm just I'll talk for a minute, but first of all, I'm looking at all of us that are on here, and I think we're all at a different level than some of the people we wish would work alongside of us and get uncomfortable, because you're here. We know that says a lot. And these are all familiar faces. And that is really awesome. But in my head, I'm thinking those who need this the most aren't here. Now, I've been thinking about this today, and we'll talk more about Bob and we'll go back, Jason. I had asked a couple of my newer coaches, I said, if I was to do a training every week, or something, what would you want it on? Like, what would help you? And only one person answered, and she had mentioned, like, okay, if I'm not on track, how am I supposed to help others? And we've heard that before. Our health is the most important thing, right? But I had to, let's face it, we're not perfect. We're on a journey. And I had to be able to think of, how can I answer this question? And I feel like even if I'm not my best, and I am working towards my best, because like Bob said, what does he say? Like, we're never ending. This is a continuous journey, but I have the solution in my hand. I have a solution whether I'm eating a flippin' donut or not, or, off plan. I have a solution and I can share it with others. And my husband's a carpenter, and our house has a million jobs that aren't finished. And you would not know he was a carpenter sometimes if you look in our house, but he still shows up to work and he does the work. He's not going to say, well, gosh, my stairway still looks like crap since 5 years ago when we moved in, and the drywall mud is still on there and not sanded. So I can't come help you today. Like, I mean, I get it's harder to show up and put on a happy face when we're not feeling healthy. But when we serve others, we serve ourselves. And so when we get stuck in ourselves, I think the only way or the best way to get out is to connect with others. And so if it's me on the phone encouraging my client, that's a little bit also encouraging me, because I'm getting sick of hearing myself cheering them on and then watching me, put myself on the back burner and blowing it, or you know what I mean? And so I really think it's so important for all of us here, but also all of our coaches and this will lead into Bob. Bob talks about, like, we need to show them we're not perfect. We need to get across to them that just because we can talk on a Zoom and articulate ourselves, that it hasn't always been like this. And so, if we were always all looking at Dan and Megan and Jason and going, wow, look at them, they weren't always like that. And that we have to get comfortable not being perfect, and to show up and to continue to offer the solution. Because really, is it fair that if we're just not feeling great, that father is, this far away from having a heart attack, and if he could have lost some of the weight, or this person could stop paying for their diabetes medication? No disclaimers here on getting off of medications, but let's say someone did. We need to keep offering it and showing up, but also showing up in a way that's, hey, we're imperfect, and that's why people like us, because we're real. So Jason, take something away from that, please.
I sure will. I think what you're talking about exactly is authenticity, right? And not trying to hide. Hey, have you ever got to where you're not sharing your photos anymore because that last before and after, you don't look like that anymore? Has that ever happened to anybody else? I mean, am I only stepping on my own toes? Right? Like, that is part of your journey though. Like, and I feel like sometimes when I'm a little bit off track, I have a hard time when someone asks, like, hey, what do you do? And then I'm like, I'm a health coach and I'm not feeling my best. Right? So sometimes it's hard to like say that, but that's where the authenticity goes. And you could just say, listen, I'm a health coach. I'm not perfect. I have my struggles still, but I lost X amount on this program and it literally has changed my life, but I'm still on the journey. And being authentic with that, I think that's the big thing that people relate to as well. But the second part of that is we can't always be in fix it mode, right? We can't always, every time someone talks to us, we're like, well, I'm a little off track. I mean, if every time somebody says, talks to you, your answer is you're a little off track, they're eventually going to go, well, this thing obviously doesn't work. Because I mean, every time I talk to Johnny, he seems like he's off track. So the second part of that though is to make sure you catch yourself and refocus. We all are going to have hiccups. I'm telling you what, there's a lot of good food in California. I am buckled back down right now because of that reason. Some of us joined in that, like crushing it to convention group. If you want to be in there, just look for that. We'll add you in. But I don't know. My first week, I'm down 6 pounds. Of course, some of that's water weight, but you know what? I feel way better. I feel way better just being in momentum, because sometimes you can just get in that stagnant place. And I like Dana's example though. Jeff is a carpenter, and if you look at his work, you're like, dang, it's really good. But if you look behind the scenes, you're like, are you sure this guy's a carpenter? Because all this stuff is not done over here. And that's kind of the same thing. We post our transformations of our clients and other people and our program. And then sometimes people might see us and be like, what's going on? So, really, that is number one, guys. I don't know if you're in this trap right now, but the good enough trap also works with not only your business, but your health. And I think one of the best and worst things of our program is it's so easy to hop back on 5-1, but that 5-1 becomes such a crutch too, doesn't it? And and then we get to a point too where it's even hard to like hop on 5-1 for some reason, even though it's the absolute simplest, easiest program you could ever do, and it's just like no brainer. But still, it's like we just get into this spot where we're just like, well, I'm okay. But I didn't get into this to be okay. I hope you didn't either. I hope you got into this to actually like achieve some dreams and radically change your life. Because that's, I don't know about you guys, but that's why I got into this. And now that we know like what we have in our hands, it's hard to like just be in that good enough trap all the time. But Dana, do you want to say anything about what you heard on that podcast at all? Like that resonated with you?
Yes. Bob said a lot of great things. By the way, he's coming to Chicago August 18th, Kate. Um, he said, must continue to stretch yourself and enter the land of uncertainty. But he really reiterated over and over, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And I was like, what? Like, oh my God, the first time I lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds, the first time I started helping people, like all that was so damn exciting. And now it's like, here I am. What is my first time? I need to find a new first time. I don't know what. Like I was reaching out to Jason today, like, let's, I don't even know. And so think about that. What is something, or when was the last time you did something for the first time? I don't know. Maybe I'm lame and you guys do, Shelly's all hot rodding it. Do the speed limit, girl. And so that resonated with me a lot. Like, okay, doing something for the first time, but also, he said you have to risk not looking good as you implement new things. You're not gonna look good doing it. It's not gonna be smooth sailing. You can't look good and get better at the same time. I was like, oh man, is that not true? You can't look good and get better at the same time. And that your team needs to see you not being perfect. I mean, I think that's in anything in life, as a mom, as a spouse, as doing anything, those challenges in the beginning. You must endure a period of incompetence on your way to becoming better. Oh, just so, he has a lot of great one-liners, or a lot of great stuff to make you really think. And so now I think it's our turn to think, what is it that we're not doing? And his biggest thing was he wouldn't go on video for a year. And he was talking about that was even before Facebook Live. And now he speaks in front of tons and tons of people. And I mean, you would think he's a natural, but he was scared to death. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Jason, what's something last time you did something for the first time? Like, that's
You put me
hard.
on the spot. Okay, so I do have something. I have
Yeah.
something that like is on my to-do list where I'm like, I know that if I do this, this is going to help grow our business. And I still haven't done it. Months and months and months and months not doing it. Okay, so I'll tell you that in a second. But one thing to like, for yourself, maybe reach out to your mentorship team with this, but maybe write this down and answer this question for yourself. Like, what's that one thing that will help grow your business, that you're just so uncomfortable to do that you just keep putting it off? Or maybe you just do it every once in a while, right? You just get a wild hair and you're like, oh, I'll do this. And then you do it like one day and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so uncomfortable. Like, what's that one thing that you know you need to do? Maybe it is a live video. Maybe it's conversations. I mean, happy birthdays are really easy, aren't they? Like, like, oh hey, I did 10 happy birthdays today. I did my 10 conversations. No, you didn't. I don't think those count as conversations. I don't count those as conversations. Like, that's great. You can start, but you can take those somewhere. But I don't really think that counts because they're pretty comfortable. You just have to go happy birthday, and there's not going to be much. I don't think anybody's ever said happy birthday to somebody and they're like, man, screw you. Don't you ever message me again. I'm blocking you and unfriending you. I don't think that's happened. So that's pretty easy. So maybe that's conversation. Maybe it's reaching out to that next level person, right? Okay, so I'm going to share mine. So obviously, if you guys know our story, we're on the road. I think everybody on here already knows that. And we've been on the road for over a year and a half. And I've had this idea in my head probably just about that long. So we go to all these different towns all the time. Obviously, we're constantly going to new places. Well, what do most cities and towns have? They have some kind of nutrition store. They obviously have chiropractors. They have health and wellness practitioners. So my idea is to go in there and make a connection and offer what we do. Now, I will say, a couple months ago, I did go to the chiropractor and I did get his info and send him some information on Optavia and followed up, and then he blew me off. But hey, I did my part, right? So that was like the one time. And man, that was so scary. That was so uncomfortable. And I haven't done it since. But I know that those are all new connections. And maybe I do it 100 times and get nothing. But what if I do it 101 times and Joe Chiropractor says, man, I've been looking for something like this. I have been waiting years for a program like this to help for my clients. And so I'm going to commit that to you guys. Like, I got to start doing that because it's super uncomfortable. And it's so dumb because I probably won't see these people again if they do say no. I mean, honestly, like, what does it matter? I have like 2 seconds of embarrassment and I get back in my truck. But it's so uncomfortable that I just keep putting it off. But I know that that is something that will totally help grow our business. Tammy goes to networking groups. I know that has helped her business. That has helped her grow. That has helped her get into new spheres of influence. Like, and see, these are some of the same things. So I don't know about you guys. If anybody wants to share maybe one little thing that they know they're not doing that's going to make them uncomfortable, I'd love to kind of just hear some other people's thoughts on that real quick. Somebody's got to come off mute for that, besides Dana.
All right, I'll go. So,
yay, Christelle.
I would say the thing I am most uncomfortable with that would probably help me right now is reaching back out to like really old clients. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've had some years where I don't do it as much, just due to work stresses and other things. And I know right now getting back into it that would be a huge thing to reach back, but I'm scared to death to do it because I haven't done it in a long time and that scares me. So that's mine.
That's huge, Crystal. Yeah, and how about reaching back to clients that maybe you dropped the ball with? I think we all have a couple of those. Reaching out and just say, hey, listen, last time I'm really sorry I dropped the ball. I really wasn't doing my best job as a coach. And I really love to, give you a second or give me a second chance. We'd love for you to hop back on. Give it another try. And I'll support you differently this time. And then you actually have to do that though. Don't get them back on and then never, not called. I know all of us have our client nights. I hope you do. So we, stay on track. But thanks, Crystal, for sharing. Anybody else want to share real quick? Anything that might be scaring them that they know will help help their business, help them
Something
change some lives. How about that?
something that I
Hey,
decided
Shelley.
to do. So I'm driving around in my hot rod tonight. But one of the things that I did is, a lot of people talk about just joining Facebook groups and things like that. And that's really not the whole point of this, but I've always had kind of a problem with, I've always been a shy person. I know that people can't believe that. But I've always been a really shy person. So it's been really hard for me to insert myself in different circles of people and different circles of friends. But the great thing that I have found is that it feels so weird saying it out loud, but my car has given me the confidence to start connecting myself with different level thinkers and people that I love. The car group that I'm in, because they are totally about giving back to our community. They're totally about friendship, camaraderie, cheering each other on. It's so similar to the True Transformation group, so similar to the Valentine organization. But now I'm, connecting myself with people that love our community and they love to be in service and they just want to be good friends and they just want to get together and have a good time. And it's bringing me more out of my shell. And I'm finding, because I always have felt like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole. But now I'm feeling like I'm finding my groove with where I fit in my life and in my community and the message that I want to put out to people. So sometimes it's getting super uncomfortable and putting yourself in situations like that and connecting with different people, not necessarily the people who have the things that you want, but just different thinking people and people that are doing different things than you're used to doing. And so that's one of the things that I've been really enjoying, because it's nice to make friends and it's nice to meet different personalities, and I'm taking a lot away from that.
Good word, Shelley. I love it. And congrats to Shelley, fully integrated national director, 3rd month qualified. It's a big, big old deal right there. Amazing. All right, why don't we do one more if we have one more person that would be willing to share, because I think these are great.
I'll go, Jason.
Thanks, Sean.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, I was going to say, Heather, I'm going to have to say that, like you were saying, Jason, of the being, I don't know how you worded it, being comfortable at where you're at. And sorry, I was eating my cinnamon sticks. But I think I've been there for a while and I kind of got away from the idea of posting because I wasn't doing everything that I needed to do to stay and keep losing and everything. And we've had a lot happen in our household since February. And so a lot of changes have come. And so I think my biggest thing is I posted a picture last week of a post or picture I did on Monday. And you could tell I had put on some weight. And I did a picture on Friday. And it wasn't that I had lost a lot of weight, but it was just I needed to do that to get out of my comfort zone, I guess, and say, yeah, you know what? I haven't done what I needed to do. And then I think too, I stopped doing conversations and doing all the things because I wasn't feeling like I should have felt. I know I'm not saying this quite right. But now I realize that, and I'm realizing I'm still struggling, but I'm getting back at it. My coaches have never left me. My team members that I have never left me. My family has continued to help. And I'm getting back on track and I'm trying, and that comfort zone is really hard to get out of. But I'm trying, and it's definitely not easy. So if that made sense at all.
It did, Sean. Great job. Great job. Well, and then, I mean, that just shows a lot, though. You have all that support. We're all here for you, but it sounds like, you got people that love you and support you and know what you can do. And it's okay, though, because I love what you're doing, though, is that you're owning it, right? You're owning it. And you could just share that and say, hey, I had some life happen. I'm a little off track, but I'm still here and I'm still fighting and I still know that I can do this. And basically, it's just like, hey, watch me. Just watch me. Watch what's going to
Right.
happen because I'm making the changes. So
Right.
awesome job. And yeah, it's uncomfortable for a reason because it's not easy, right? And it doesn't always feel great in the moment. And it feels way better than doing something comfortable, just sitting on the couch. It feels way better in the moment, but feeling, sitting comfortable on the couch is just the same. But then when you get out of your comfort zone and you do something you've never done before, the feeling you get with that, I will take that over sitting on the couch any day of the week. But you have to get through that little piece where you're just like, I don't know if I want to do this. But when you do and you break through, like that is, I mean, that's the best feeling. So, all right, Heather, I saw you come off mute. So I thought it was Sean, but it was you that said something. So
That's okay. That was good. And she is and can do the things. She's building that consistency back up. We just talked about it yesterday. So, I don't know what wording I'm supposed to use, but my thing, I guess we'll call it. And excuse me because the mosquitoes are coming out, so I'm gonna swat bugs. Is making new friends. I've always struggled with that. But on Facebook, I avoid it like the plague. And I know I'm not going to grow and branch out of my friends list and be stagnant if I don't. And I've been making myself do it a little bit more and more. And it works if you do it. But utilizing the tools that we get from trainings and wording and that. And I still am scared of it, but I do it. But this last week, I started, of my 4 new clients, 3 of them were people that I didn't know. And I was telling my coaches how much I absolutely love these ladies. It's like a whole new world because it's just, they tell you to like find, just find new places and new groups of people and just your strategic partners. And I just have lacked that. I've been stuck on each Fibic and I am stuck and can't get there. So and I'm not going to get there if I don't start finding people and new groups. And so I just am stuck. That's my place is I can't get out of my comfort zone. Haven't been. So I'm trying to do that.
you're not stuck. You're just, that's a season of growth, right? You're
Yeah.
not stuck. You just know what you need to do to be able to put yourself up to that next level. And so I think stuck is such a negative word. It just makes you feel like you're, drowning in mud or whatever. It just, you know what? Like you're just at a plateau right now and you're going to go ahead and you're going to start doing the things that you need to get there. Just like, building a muscle, right? You got to bring out some more clients, some more coaches, some more people to start filling in where you want to grow at. And so you're not stuck at all, Heather. You're just in a growth season. And I can't wait to see you hop up to that FIBC and celebrate you.
Coming.
But yeah, it is. It is. I know it is. Keep doing what you're doing. It is. I love what Heather said though, because what she was recognizing is, if you kind of look around and you go, okay, this is my kind of current group of friends. And if you're looking around, you're like, I don't see any of those people that I really want to partner with. Now, it doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean they're not your friends anymore. They're still going to be your friends, but are those people that you see in the future building a business with you? Are those your strategic partners? And if you spin around the circle and look at all your friends and you don't see any of them, and none of them are ready to grow with you, none of them are ready to take their life to the next level, then you got to do what Heather's doing. She's looking outside of her circle and you start to search for new people. The majority of the clients that I bring on now, 6 years later, I have no idea. Sometimes I don't even know how I connected with them. I'm sure I sent them a friend request, but you know, sometimes it's just like I'm not even quite sure how we connected, but okay, yeah, I would love to hop on a share call with you. And that's kind of like what, as you grow, and I've been doing this a little bit longer, like that's what's going to happen. And what's cool with that is you get to get in a group of people with a whole new sphere of influence. And when you do that, you're going to find so many people that are like-minded, that are looking for something like this, that are looking for our program, looking for our opportunity. But that takes a little uncomfort that first time you connect with them and they're like, why'd you reach out to me? And you're like, I don't know. You just say, hey, we're mutual friends. Look like you have a great Facebook page. Love to connect. And that's not always comfortable, right? Because there's some rejection in that. But if you can look past that and not make it all about you and not take it so much to heart and just say, okay, that's fine. No big deal. They're not open to connect right now. That's okay. You will find those new people. You will find those future partners. Because if we're just trying to cycle through, that sounds bad, cycle through, but I mean, I don't know a better way to say it. Work through the same people over and over again, and none of them are ever ready. Like, you're just spinning your wheels. It's time to find some new people. It's time to bring on some new spheres of influence. And you know, it's like Kevin Bacon, right? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, there's so many people out there waiting for what we have. So awesome. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. I see Dana escaped before I brought her on again. I'm sure she had some kid time or something, but that's what I got for tonight. So let's get a little uncomfortable. Let's take it to that next level. Take it with your health. It always leads with your health. If you're not on track right now, get on track. I'm shooting on you right now. You should be on track, especially going into June and July. I mean, come on, it's swimsuit season. Don't be hiding underneath that sundress at the beach. Like, get out there, get into that swimsuit, feel proud of yourself. And that is going to lead everything else, or that will bring everything else right with it. When you lead with your health, your business is going to keep growing as well. And we all know that. But your business won't all of a sudden go away because you're a little off track, right? But it will if you just continue to live in that land. Like, people are going to be like, wait a minute, Jason just gained all his 60 pounds back, but he's still posting all these before and afters. What's going on? So we always have to lead with our health. It doesn't matter if we're off track or not. We're still in progress. We're still fighting for it. And that's the most important thing. So unless anybody else has anything, I am going to call that good for tonight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop recording.